All right, so now we're recording. I'm gonna press the little button and let it know that I got it. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Project SOAR Fit. If you don't know me, my name's Aron. I'll be leading you through your workout today. This program is designed for veterans with disabilities that are part of the Project SOAR program. We're going to do functional fitness, which means we're doing fitness that's full body, that's going to help us be functional in our bodies for all the things that we like to do in our life. That includes any of the activities that you sign up for with Project SOAR. So very specifically, I've included in these workouts things to help us prepare for skiing, and also now some things that are going to help us prepare for climbing, since we have a climbing trip coming up at the end of March. So if you're not on those trips, these will still be great workouts for you to increase your functionality. If you are, then I'll talk to you specifically about some things like how they might be helpful to you to either ski and or climb. And a lot of the things that are good for one are good for the other. So let's go ahead and get started. And I think I'm gonna have to turn this down a little so I don't get feedback. I think that's a little better. All right. And before we start, I always recommend that people maybe before they log on, that you've done some kind of warm up for about 10 minutes, just moving your body in some way to get your heart pumping, your blood moving, your body kind of warmed up. If you haven't already done that, don't worry, we'll do about 2 minutes of it, which is like the bare minimum. But I always recommend that before you start, if you could just go out and do something, a walk, a run, a bike ride, rowing, jumping rope, just anything, like I said, that kind of gets your heart pumping. And I'm going to start my watch so I can track my workout. Let's go ahead and begin. I am doing this live via Zoom. So if you're logged on with me like Kate, wonderful. If not, I'm also going to record this and put it on YouTube. So if you're joining me on YouTube, remember, you can always pause whenever you need to if you need a longer break or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get started. I mentioned we'll do that 2-minute warm up. Basically, we just do 4 different movements, 30 seconds each. I'm going to do jogging, jumping jacks, high knees, and squats. But you can do, like I said, like any set of movements that gets your heart moving. A lot of times lower body movements are good for that, but you can also do upper body movements like punching or spinning your hands. So again, this is totally up to you, what feels best in your body to get started. And let's go ahead and start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to start with that jogging in place. And like I said, if you don't want to jog, you could march in place. You could do side steps. You could do a side step together and then keep going and then come back. Whatever works for you. I'm going to keep jogging. We've only got a few seconds left for this first 30 seconds. That was 30. Let's move to jumping jacks or whatever movement you want. I'm going to do some traditional jumping jacks, but remember, you can mix this up if you don't want that high intensity or that bouncing motion. You could keep the jumping jacks low impact. That's the word I was looking for. Low impact by stepping out one side and then the other. And if you don't want to reach your arms already all the way overhead, you could do a seal jumping jack like this. Oh, that was 30 seconds. That goes so fast. Let's do high knees. You could also do a kick if you want to do kind of a high kick. Again, this is all about just movement, getting the blood moving through your body, that heart rate up, getting everything warm. Three, 2, 1, and then let's move on to squats. Again, these are kind of shallow squats. It's more about getting the heart rate up. If you wanted even more of that high impact, you could come up on your toes and make this squat a little jumpier. That makes it a little more energetic. Or you could even jump all the way up, get your toes to leave the ground. 3, 2, 1. We're all done with the warm up. Now that we've got our heart rate up, though, we're still going to work around with our joints and muscles and keep getting warm before we start the workout proper. We've got a set of movements we're going to do for that. And we're actually going to come back to those squats. So we're going to change it up a little bit. We'll do 15 squats. The first 5, we're going to do narrow. So the feet come close together. They may even touch. See if you can keep your chest lifted. Your hands could be on your hips if you want. And bending the knees, lowering the hips, keeping the chest up. And then press through the heels, come back to standing. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first 5. We'll take the feet out just a little bit wider. Oh, maybe between the hips and the shoulders about. Toes may even open a little bit past the heels. And then we'll do the same thing. Squat down, press up. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last one, we'll really take those feet out wide. Maybe past the shoulders, toes really opening up wider than the knees. And let's try to keep this upright here. So the knees bend in alignment with the ankles and the hips. 2, pressing through the heels to come up. 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll come to those side-by-side walks. So maybe start on one side, step together, and then we'll come back. If you want to take this a little deeper, you could even put a little squat in there as you're moving. So kind of like a moving squat side to side. Just checking in with yourself, seeing how this feels, noticing if there's any place that you maybe need to rehab a little bit today, or maybe you notice that you're feeling really strong. Maybe you're going to do some stuff today that you didn't feel like doing a couple days ago. From day to day, our bodies can feel stronger or weaker, have more energy, less energy. So this is our chance to kind of check in. All right. After this side-by-side walks, let's do kind of a hip rotation. And I'm going to use a chair to help me balance. So this is always a good idea because we're going to come onto one leg. You don't have to, but if you feel like you just need something to help steady yourself, having a table or a chair or even the wall nearby can be helpful. And I'm going to let my weight come into my right foot. I'm going to pick up my left knee, bending the knee, and then make a circle. So I'm going to circle out and then come back up. We'll do 5 of those in this direction. That's 3, 4, 5, and then let's switch direction. So we go down, out, and then close it back in. One more. And we're going to stay working the same hip, this left hip. So weight still stays in the right side. And let's kick that left leg forward and back. Forward and back. Let's do that 10 times. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's bring that leg up in front again so that we have space to take it to the right and then out to the left. Right, left. We'll do that 2 or 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. we finally get to switch legs. So I'm going to take my chair, move it to the other side. And we'll do the same thing. We'll start with those hip circles. The weight comes into the other leg. So I pick my knee up, open the hip, and then circle down and back around. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's switch. Down, out, and back in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'll straighten that leg and do those leg swings. So kick forward and back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's bring it back in front and do those side leg swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. I'm really feeling that in my hips today already, and that's just the warm up. All right, let's do shoulder circles. So we've done a lot of stuff with the lower body. Let's get things moving up here. You can shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then pull your shoulder blades together and then pull your shoulders down away from your ears. You could also put your hands on your shoulders and make those circles like you're moving your elbows in circles back and down and around. You could also extend your arms all the way out. So this just depends on what feels best for you. Let's do a couple more in this direction. And then we can switch directions. So now it comes back, around, up and over. And again, you can do any of those options. So if you like having your hands on your shoulders and use your elbows like chicken wings, you can do that. And you could also have your arms at your side and keep this nice and low. Maybe 1 or 2 more times, and then we can shake that out. Let's do a couple side bends. And again, there's lots of options. I like to give you choices. So one thing you can do is you can bend with your hands at your side. You could also reach that one arm over your head if you like that, or you could have both arms up, even interlacing the fingers. Let's come back to the middle and then to the other side. I like to give options because everyone's body is different. And like I said, our bodies can feel different day to day. If you are not logged on with me live and you're not sure what to do for your situation, feel free to drop me an email or a text message and let me know what you need some help with, and I'll help you find something that works best for you if you're not sure how to modify something or how to make it work for you. All right, this is our last little movement before we start our workout proper. So we're just going to think about moving around the neck and shoulders. So let's let our right ear fall towards our right shoulder. We're not going to push it down. We're just allowing gravity to let it fall in that direction. And then we're going to turn our face down towards the floor and then roll so our chin is next to our chest. It doesn't have to touch, just going down in that direction. And then turn our head to the other side and then rotate the neck so our left ear is by our left shoulder. And then we just do the same thing. Side to side. You're in charge of your range of motion. You also choose how quickly or how slowly you're doing this. I like to do this pretty slow so I can feel where I'm getting a nice stretch. Sometimes I may even spend a little extra time in one place if I feel like I'm getting a really good stretch there. And let's come back to the middle and then lift our gaze right back up. We are done with all that warming up unless you feel like you need more. And again, if you're doing this on YouTube, pause. If there's something else you feel like you need to move before we really get going, feel free to do that on your own. If you did a workout with me from Tuesday, this is gonna be really similar. I've changed a few of the exercises, but a lot of them are really similar, and there's a lot of them. We're gonna do a lot of leg work first, and then we're gonna do a lot of upper body, and then we're gonna do a lot of core. So we're kind of chunking it out into 3 sections. Because we're doing so many exercises today, we'll probably only go and get through it twice. We won't do 3 rounds, we'll do 2 rounds. So let's start with the legs. And I know this is everyone's favorite because we're gonna do those squat pulses. So we're gonna come back into that idea of doing a squat again. Not super wide, maybe a little wider than the shoulders, toes wider than heels. We're gonna do 10 with a pulse. So that means we're gonna go all the way down, come halfway up, go back down and come up, and that counts as 1, okay? So let's go ahead and start that. You can have your hands in front of you, you can have your hands on your hips, or you could even use your bands. And if you don't have bands and you want them, I can actually get you some, or you could use hand weights. Now these, if you already have some around the house, that's great, but if you don't worry about it. Like I said, you're gonna get a great workout, even if you don't have any of this extra equipment. This is just extra. So let's come into that first squat. Bending the knees, keeping the chest lifted, lower the hips, and now we're gonna come halfway up and drop back down, press through the heels, squeeze the glutes all the way up. That means we're squeezing our tushy. That's 1. Let's do 9 more like that. Halfway, dip back down, all the way up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Next move, I'm going to give you a couple options again. You have the option of doing that side by side, step to the middle, step to the side, back to the middle, back to the side. And again, if you want more intensity, you could bring that down into a squat and then squat. So that's option 1. Option 2, and I'm adding this in, especially for those of you who are going to be doing some climbing with me, because in addition to wanting to get a strong lower body and cardio, it makes us much more effective at climbing. Increasing our finger strength can also make us a lot more effective at climbing. And this is a neat way to do it. I'm going to come up to the camera a little closer. If you put your hands all the way around the bottom of the weight, that's okay. But the more you're able to use just your fingertips, the stronger your hands are going to be. So if you want to follow me doing this kind of grip on the weights to increase your finger strength, we're going to just do a farmer carry. So we're going to walk to one end of our mat and turn around and come to the other end. We'll do that several times. So if you've been going back and forth with your side steps or your squats, that's fine. Otherwise, follow me with this farmer carry. And like I said, the more you can kind of slide your fingers up the top part of that weight so that you're really using the fingertips and you're not gripping underneath, you're gripping the sides, the more that's going to help you improve your hand and finger strength for those grips when you're climbing up the wall. Let's do 1 more if you're doing this with me, and then finish up your side steps if you're doing those. And feel free to practice those on your own too. You could also do that with plate weights. You could grab the edges. All right, so after the farmer carry or side step, we're gonna do that combo of a lunge and a knee lift. So if you did this with me Tuesday, kind of worked our way up to it. So it's 2 movements combined. So first movement is we step our foot back, dip down into a lunge, and then as we come forward, instead of just stepping forward, we give that knee a lift, kind of an explosive movement, and then we switch sides. Dip, lift the knee. That's 1. Let's do 10 of those. Dip, lift, switch. Dip, lift, and we'll start again. That was 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one to each side, switch, dip, lift, done. Great job. All right, we're going to keep it on the legs, but coming down to the floor. So you remember we did some of these bridge postures last Tuesday, a couple days ago. Let's walk our feet in close to our seat. Our ankles, our knees, and our hips are all aligned. Remember, our hands next to the sides of our body, and we're going to press into the heels so that we can lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes, and then come back down. That's 1. Let's do 10 of those. 2, 3. If you want more of a challenge, you could lift your arms up. You could even put weights in your hands if you wanted to practice that. I think that's 6. I may have lost count. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Now here's that opportunity to work on one leg at a time, something else that's also really important for skiing and for climbing. So if you're following me for this, we're going to lift up one leg. You can keep the knee bent, or it's a little more challenging if you straighten that knee. If you don't want to do one leg at a time, you don't have to. You can repeat those bridge lifts like we just did with both feet. But if you're following me with one leg, let's press the right heel down so we can lift our hips. We're going to do 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one on this side, 10. And then let's switch. We'll put that foot back down and extend the other leg. And we're going to go right into it. Remember, if you need a break, you can take a break. I'm going to go right into it just so that we can get done in time. So pressing down through the left heel, lift the hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. You can hug those knees and maybe rock that a little bit. That's always a nice massage for my low back. Whew. We're going to stay here on the ground and do one last little exercise for our legs before we move on to our arms. I didn't say it earlier, but if you like listening to music, feel free to play some on your side. It's hard for me to do from here because it can interrupt you being able to hear me, but I know it's fun to work out with music, so feel free to play it on your end if you want. So I'm going to show you a couple options again for this. So you can do this lying on your side, because we're going to do a leg lift, extend, and then bend and lower. So that's the movement. But the other way we can do this movement is kneeling on that bottom knee, my left knee in this case, and then holding on to the floor with the left hand. So you can do the same movement here, lifting the knee, extending the leg. So choose which one you like. We're going to do 10 of those. That was 2 for me. I'm counting that one on the floor because these are tough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the last one. 10. But let's go ahead and lift that leg back out and up off the floor, whether you're lying on your side or kneeling. And we're going to send that energy from your hip right down through the heel and lift that heel up and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These always burn for me. There we go. And let's switch that to the other side again. Either of those options, do which feels best in your body. I'm going to come onto my knee in my hand. I'm going to bring the left knee next to the right knee and then lift, extend, bend, and lower. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one of these, 10. Let's extend that leg out, lift it up off the ground, really send that energy through the heel. It's the heel that leads the way. We're going to pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Oh my goodness. I feel that for real. Let's move on. We're going to move on to the arm section of today's workout. Again, you don't need to have anything for additional resistance. Your body's own resistance is enough for this to be really effective. But if you want to use some bands, you're welcome to. I really like using hand weights, so that's what I'm going to use. And let's start with bicep curls. So on Tuesday, we did a curl that looked like this. Our palms were forward, our hands were down by our hips, and we curled up. But for fun, let's just change it up a little bit. So all we're going to do is we're going to rotate our wrists so that our fingers are facing our hips. This is called a hammer curl. So just a little bit of a different one. And we still curl up and lower with control. That's 1. If you're not using weights, imagine that you're just carrying super heavy weights in your hands and move nice and slow on the way up and on the way back down. I think that's 3. If not, then we got a bonus 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. We're moving on to shoulder presses. So again, hands are going to come just above the shoulders. Elbows are just right at shoulder height and out to the side. And we're going to press up. And again, if you don't have weight, just imagine you're pushing a heavy weight up and then slowly letting it back down, squeezing your shoulder blades together, keeping those elbows wide and keeping your back firm. So we're not arching the back, we're pressing through the heels. Let's do that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Slowly lower down, squeeze those shoulder blades. Great job. All right. After our shoulder press, we're going to do a different tricep exercise. So earlier this week, we did something else. I'm going to do a tricep dip with you. So there's a few ways we can do this. I'll demonstrate a couple different options. You can sit on the floor with your knees bent and your feet on the mat and your hands behind you. and lift your hips, bend your elbows, and come back down and press up. So that's one option. That's already really tough. You could also use a chair. Make sure it's not going to slide anywhere. I'm going to press mine against this couch so it doesn't go anywhere. Step your feet out and bend your elbows. I think I already did 4 on the floor. I'm counting those because these are tough too. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Go ahead and finish your 10. We are going to move on to rows. Again, you don't need to have any weight. You could use hand weights. Today, I'll just demonstrate using the bands just so that you can get a view of what that looks like. It looks a little different. So I'm going to step here. Hopefully this doesn't snap on me. I was having problems with these on Tuesday. So we're going to hold our hands in front of us, either holding a weight or the band or pretending that we are. And imagine that resistance as we pull up, bending the elbows, keeping the back straight, and lower down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Before we bring it down to the floor, we're going to do one more thing. Standing. Kind of getting ahead of ourselves because this is really more for our back than it is our arms. But since we're standing, I just want to go ahead and do this one. And again, this is one that we did on Tuesday. So this is called a good morning. We're going to stand up nice and strong, plant our feet, soften the knees. You can bring hands behind your head. You can also do this with your hands on your hips. I like it behind my head. We're going to keep the back nice and straight. Pull the belly in. That's what keeps our back firm, is when we use our core strength. And keeping our back flat, we're going to hinge through the hips just a little, like a partial bow. And then squeeze the muscles back here to come back up. That's 1. 2, 3. We're also using our glutes a little here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Great job. Now we're going to bring it down to the mat. We're going to come onto our hands and knees for a tricep push-up, but we're doing this push-up right from a tabletop position. So our hips are over our knees, our shoulders are over our wrists, our fingertips are spread wide. And when we come down, we're not going to let the elbows open out to the sides. We're going to bend the elbows back towards our thighs and bring our chest and forehead down. You don't have to come all the way down to the mat, just as far as you can keep control. And then exhale, press back up. That's 1. 2. Inhale, bend the elbows. Breathe out, straighten the elbows. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 2 more. 9, last one, 10. Great job. We're going to stay here on the mat and do some core work. We'll start with a simple abdominal crunch. So we are going to bend our knees, feet on the mat, lower down the upper body, and bring our hands behind the head, elbows wide, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And we're gonna pull our belly in towards the spine and use that strength to lift our shoulders off the mat and curl up, and then with control, lower down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Beautiful. I know that last week we didn't do, yesterday or Tuesday, that's it. We didn't do any planks. That doesn't mean I forgot about them. We're bringing them back for Thursday. So let's come onto our hands and knees. I showed you that there's lots of different options for planks. You could do planks with your arms extended or on your forearms. You can stay on your knees or your toes. I'm still rehabbing this shoulder, so I'm going to do a forearm plank. That seems like a better choice for me right now. And we're going to do this for 30 seconds. So let's start in 3, 2, 1. So you can keep your shoulders, hips, and knees aligned. That means if you're on your knees, you still have your shoulders right over your elbows. If you're on your toes, there's still a straight line there. We're not piking up the hips. And we're also not dropping the hips. You got less than 10 seconds to go. You're doing great. Really pull the belly in. That's what helps you keep strength here. 2, 1, and done. Good job. Give yourself a little stretch. We're going to move those planks onto our side. So we're going to do 30 seconds and a side plank on each side. Again, you can do this with your arm extended under your shoulder, or you can be in a forearm plank. I'm going to stick with my forearm. So my elbow is going to be right under my shoulder. If you're in that extended one, your wrist is right under your shoulder. Remember, you can use this top leg to help you lift up. You could also have it extended in front of your other foot, and that's going to give you a little bit of lift. The one that's the most challenging is to stack your feet. So choose where you are today, and you can always choose something different the second round. And let's lift. You can keep this front hand in front for a little balance. You can bring it to your hip. You can extend it. There's lots of ways to play with these. I'm going to keep my eye on my watch so I don't keep us here too long. We've got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've got it. Come down. And let's switch right over to the other side. Get yourself in your position. And we will start in 2, 1, lift. Halfway. 10 seconds left. Really lift those hips. 3, 2, 1, and done. Excellent job. We've got one last abdominal move, and then we'll take a break before we do that all again. All right, so let's stay on our backs for this. We're going to do bicycle kicks. So we can bring our hands behind our head if you're able to. Lift your shoulders up just a little bit. We'll bring in one knee, extend the other leg. Switch, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Hug it in, take a break, a drink of water, use the restroom if you need to. Again, if you're watching this recorded and you need your break to be a little longer, that's fine. We will probably start in about 30 more seconds if you're doing this live with me, just so we can stay on schedule. All right, let's start in about 10 seconds. We're going to start with those squat pulses. Let's start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down, halfway up. That pulse back down, all the way up. That's 1. We're going to do 10 of those. Pulse and up, 2. Pulse, up, 3. Keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. We're going to move on. Remember, you have a couple options here. You can do those side steps, or if you want those to be a little bit more energetic, you can do like a side squat step, side to side. Or if you have hand weights and you want to do that farmer's carry, you could also do this with plates, just something you can hold onto with the tips of your fingers to really increase that hand and finger strength. You're welcome to follow me for that. We're going to go back and forth for about 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and begin. We've got about 10 seconds left. We'll just keep going. Remember, if you need a break before then, you're welcome to take one. I think this is our last time. That's it. Great job. You can always do more of those if you want to build that strength. Let's do that combo of a lunge and then a knee lift. And remember, we're going to alternate sides. We do 1 on each side. We count that as 1. We're going to do 10 of them. So make sure you have room to step back. We'll step back, lunge, and as we're coming up, little knee lift. Switch, lunge, knee lift. That's 1. 2. 3. 'You can tell I'm getting tired. I had to add that extra little step in there. That's okay. 5. That's how we know it's working, right? 6. 7. 8. 9. 1 more on each side. Last one. Great job. We're going to bring it down to do some more work on our legs and glutes with those elevated bridges. So walk those heels in close to your seat. We're going to press down right through those heels to lift up the hips. Let's do 10 of those with control. So we're slowly peeling up. And then slowly coming back down with control. We're going to feel those muscles working all the way up and all the way down. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 2 more like this. 9. Last one. Let's really lift those hips up, squeeze the glutes, and then slowly bring it down. That squeeze is still there, and all the way down. Great job. We're going to take this to a one-legged elevated bridge. Remember, if that doesn't feel right for you, you can repeat the two-legged ones. And if you start doing the one-legged ones and then you feel like you can't keep going on just one leg, go ahead and finish out the set with both. That's a great way to keep building strength. So let's go ahead. We can lift up, let's say, our left leg. Remember, you can keep your knee bent or extended. I like mine extended. And let's press down through the opposite heel to lift everything up and then slowly come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, I'm really feeling it, and 10. Let's switch. That foot comes down, the other one lifts up. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. Ooh, catch your breath. And let's press down through the opposite heel to lift. And keep that control and be lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Great job. Go ahead and give those knees a hug if you want. We've got one more set of leg exercises here on the mat. Remember, you have options. You can do this lying on your side or kneeling on one side. I think this time I'm going to do it lying on my side, but you're welcome to do it the other way, just whichever feels best for you. So let's get ready to go. Let's lift, extend, bend, lower. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then let's stretch that top leg out and pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Let's switch it to the other side. And then let's go ahead and lift, extend, bend, lower. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Lower back down, and then we'll extend that top leg, lift it up. Let's pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. We're going to move on and do our upper body. So we'll start with those bicep curls. You can do the same ones we did on Tuesday. I'm going to do those hammer curls. So remember, the difference is just that rotation of our arms. Instead of the palms being forward, the palms face your thighs. All right. And then squeezing it up like you're holding the heaviest thing you've ever held in your whole life. And then keeping that sense that you're holding something heavy as you lower down with control. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring ourselves into that position for those shoulder presses. Palms face forward, elbows are about shoulder height. Let's press all the way up and nice and slow back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Great job. We're going to move on to those tricep dips. So I'm going to stay facing this direction this time. Remember, you have options. You can do this on the floor or using a piece of furniture. You could also either bend your knees, that takes some of the intensity out of it, or straighten your legs. That makes it more intense. So you can dial this up or back based on what you need right now. Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's move on to those rows. I'm not going to pause a lot because I've already explained these and we're running out of time. I don't know where the time is going today. This time I'm going to use my hand weights instead of the strap or the bands. Again, you don't have to use anything. This is your choice. And let's lift and bend the elbows and then with control, come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good job. I can see you working hard. 10. There you go. Let's move on to those good mornings. Nice flat back, soft knees. I'm going to come at an angle so that you can see that flat back. And we bend down just a little bit. And then squeeze the seat in the back to come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one. Let's take it down to the mat. We're going to do those tricep push-ups from our tabletop position. So first getting into that tabletop, getting our shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And as we lower down, we bend the elbows right back towards the thighs. Exhale, press back to straight arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's come over on our backs for our abdominal crunches. Knees bent, feet on the mat, hands behind our head, elbows wide, neck long. Pull the belly back towards our spine. Lift the shoulders up into a crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Let's move right on and get ready for our plank. Remember, you have options. Choose your plank. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's come up into our plank. It's possible I lost track of when we started. I think we have 5 seconds left. I think that's it. Let's come back out of this. If you want longer or shorter, you can go longer or shorter. Let's come onto our side plank. Let's start 2, 1, and lift. This time I remember when we started. Halfway through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down, and let's change sides. We're so close. So close to be finished. Go ahead and get ready for your side plank. On this side, we'll start in 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. Halfway through with this side. 5, 4, 3, you can do it, 2, and 1. Let's lower down. Very last exercise before we cool down and stretch. Let's come into those bicycle kicks. I'm leading this with my head and shoulders lifted. You could also do this with your head and shoulders down if that feels better. But I'm going to pull my belly in, extend one leg, bend the other knee, switch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. Let's give those legs a little hug. Give our low back a little massage. We'll just do a little bit of stretching. We're running close on time, so I don't want to take us too far over. Let's go ahead and do that quad stretch. So that quadricep muscle on the front of the thigh, we're going to give it a little stretch. Lots of ways you can do this. I'm going to demonstrate lying down and reaching back for the ankle or the top of the foot and give that a little stretch. See if you can resist that urge to kind of collapse in. Instead, give your back a little arch, open through the chest. So you're not just stretching the quadricep here, we actually get a stretch through that hip joint, a little bit through the abdominal muscles, a little bit through the chest, even through that shoulder a bit. You feel that? So this is a really nice stretch to get a lot of different areas. Don't forget to breathe while we're stretching. So you can do nice full breaths all the way down to your belly. Let's switch sides. Couple more breaths and then we'll move on to another stretch. All right, let's let that go. All right, let's do a lunge while we're down here. So we'll do a low lunge, stepping one foot forward, opening up through that hip crease. So we're kind of aiming that area kind of forward and down. You can keep your hand here to help steady you. If you wanted to open a little through the chest, you could interlace the fingers and kind of run them down the back of your seat or the back of that thigh, really opening through the front of the body. You could also add a little twist here if you wanted to do a little twist. And then let's return to center and switch which leg is in front. Same thing, you can keep your hands here on your thigh to help steady you. But if you wanted to, you could interlace fingers behind your back, open up through the chest. And you could also add a little twist here. So once you come up tall, you can twist to that bent knee. And then let's come back to the middle. Oh, it's a little after 4 already. So let's come into a simple cross leg or whatever seated position feels good for you. We'll do a little side stretch and then we'll finish up. So let's put our left hand down and reach over with our right arm. And then we're going to rotate our chest towards that left hand and then sweep our right hand in front and then put it on the mat and sweep our left arm over our head. So we kind of end up on the other side. And then we'll come back around, twist towards that right hand and sweep back. So this one's kind of pretty. And then we come back up through the middle. And then we'll start on the other side. So this time our hand starts on the right. We do a side bend, turn, sweep, place the left hand down and sweep our right arm overhead. And then we return, twist, sweep, and come back. Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this workout with me. I hope this helps you get to all your goals. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to, like I said, give me a call, leave a message. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment. I do check them, or reach out to me via email at Access of Wilmington. All right, I'm going to stop this recording. Give me just
Okay, I just want to ask one. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, hold on just a moment. Let me stop the recording and then you can ask.